Oh, there we go. Looks like we've had some technical difficulties to start with. Hopefully that should have got it sorted. So let's start again, shall we? So, as I was mentioning, we want to get some metallic colours into the back of this, just to sort of break up the silver a touch. Not too much, just a little bit. That's pretty much going to be it. So doing an audio test, fingers crossed. Perfect. So can you hear me now? Would be another test. I'm hoping that's working too. So can you hear me, Mindits? Oh, thank God for that then. Good morning. Technical difficulties to start. Fantastic. Oh, well, after last night's stream, I just wanted to get this finished this morning. So, I was having a little think about the engines, and I've settled on doing them sort of a glowing red colour. I think it's important to get some red on the model, so that when I do paint the Darth Maul one, it ties them both in together. So that is my plan. Perfect. So I'm glad they're working. Okay, so we need Agrax Earthshade for these little metal bits. Okie dokie. So to get the red engines done then. So again, a couple of colours that I use quite regularly. Rhinox Hide and Mephiston Red. And I'm going to highlight them up with a little bit of Uriel Yellow at the end. So I'm going to go for a sort of 50-50 mix. I'm going to get that right inside here. And then we also need to do just the inside, where the reflection and the glow is going to be. Then we've also got the upper engine at the top here. Okay, let's add a bit more red in. When it comes to engines, you know, you've got all your stereotypical yellows, your reds, your green, not your reds, your yellows, your greens, your blues. I'm going to try and do something with red engines for a change. Well, that is the plan anyway. Okay, so next level highlight is going to be a pure Mephiston red layer. I'm just going to paint around the edge of the engine block there as well, just to prepare for the glow. Okay, so let's start highlighting a little bit of yellow into that. Okay, so let's get another layer of red on there first, just to get that colour quite rich. Starting to look quite sinister. Okay, so starting adding a touch of yellow into that. And then what I'll do with these engines as well, once these highlights are done, I'm going to stick a layer of gloss over them as well, just to get that bright, shiny look. Okay, a little bit more yellow into the mix. So again, I've got to be careful that I don't turn these orange and it still remains sort of that red colour. So with this next highlight, I'm going to do 5 lines at the top of each. So one slightly down the middle, 2 either side. Across that top bar. Yeah, the little lines will just break up that surface a little bit as well. And a little bit of yellow just right at the bottom. And that's starting to get that nice glow to the engines. At the top, I'm just going to tip the very top of these little ridges that are in the engine area with a bit of the yellow. You see how that's starting to look now? It's looking pretty cool. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. I'm happy with that. I just need a little bit more black up at the top on this symbol. I'm not overly sold on that yet either. Just edge it off. Tidy it up a little. Okie dokie. So you can see the reflection on the cockpit. I did the gloss varnish on there last night. That's all dried quite nicely. I'm really happy with that. Varnish has dried on the guns as well. You can see they're a nice red colour. All the highline's been done. So all that's left to do now is I'm going to do a little bit more work on the horns. There was one more highlight left to do, which I wanted to leave to the end. And that was going to be with Rakarth Flesh. And this is the very top highlights, and then we'll give that another coat of varnish after that as well. So this is just a final highlight, just to make the top and front of the horns sort of pop a little bit more. Good morning. You okay? Sleepy head. You okay? Good. I did. See, sometimes when you're painting in the middle of it, you know, you can just stick a little layer of varnish over something just to protect it. So that's brightening up the colours at the top of the horns there. You can see those starting to pop out. Okay, so I'm happy with them horns are finished now. So, a little bit of battle damage. So all I'm going to do here is use lead belcher. And this is going to be a fraction of work on here, so it's not going to be loads. But all you do is literally around the edges that you think would be exposed to a little bit of damage. Just little lines like that in certain areas. You know, weirdly, the lines are actually quite clean, but add just a little bit of, just breaks it up and makes it not look so clean. So just pick a few little edges that you want to do it on, little touches here and there. You know, even just inside the model as well. Just little touches around some of the corners that might get worn a little bit as being part of the model. Tiny little bit on the gun. But these little highlights that you could do, well, that I'm doing, just break up those surfaces a little bit more. And they kind of act like an indirect highlight as well. But they are very, very subtle. Just around the edges a little bit. Like I say, it just breaks it up a touch. Just very, very faint touches in certain areas. But they do just act kind of like a little highlight, like I said. Okay, just these little touches around the middle. Right, so the bit that's going to really sort of take it to the next level now is up on this front section. So even on the yellow as well. And you know, the rest of the model's quite subtle. But up on these wings, these are again part of the focal point of the model, and you know they're just very dull at the moment. So just getting a little bit more detail on here. Again, because it's part of the focal point, it adds another layer to that little bit of a weathered look. Yeah, these bounty hunters don't keep their ships clean. I know Savage isn't really a bounty hunter as such, but you know, you get the gist with this project. So there you go. You can start to see how it's bringing it together. And we are just stick a line down there to break that surface up. Also need a bit more black underneath that wing. Actually, it's an area where the spray didn't catch it very well. So I'm just going to turn that over and just paint that in. Huh? Yeah, 2. So just going to block that side out. So far 11 o'clock seems to be the sweet spot. So far. Okay, so tiny little bit more lead belcher, and just tiny touches up and around the yellow. I'm not going to do too much because it will really detract from the yellow. Let's touch that bit there. And there. Sorry guys, I keep moving off camera. Get these edge highlights at the right positions. Okay, so let's just line a little bit up here. Okay, so we are nearly done. So I'm just going to do like a quality check now and see if there's anything glaring that I think I've missed. So One thing I feel I need to do here now, looking at this, is do a little bit more attention to these tattoos up on the front. These will be part of the focal point. I feel like I need to get the trim colour right round it just to make that really come alive. So we're going to go back to the original skin tone highlight, which was the Samisi Desert with some ceramite white, and just trim them in. So highlight that up. keep moving. And I think we are almost done. So how's that look, Mindits? You still there, mate? Brilliant. I've got to say, Yeah, the back's come on nice. I wasn't sold with the other colours like we discussed yesterday. Wasn't sure about the green, wasn't sure about the blue, just a little bit too Jedi and a bit too clean. You know, I'm much happier with how that looks. The only bit I'm not sort of sold on and totally happy with is actually the Enigma Wargaming symbol. I'm just... yeah, it just doesn't feel like my neatest work. No, it's alright, no problem. If you're watching at work, then be careful not to get caught, number one. And number two, thank you for wanting to watch it that much. But to be fair, I am nearly done, so I won't be on for much longer because I have to go and I'll go and take some pictures and a little bit of video footage of the finished product. And we'll get that on the out on the forums for people to look at, and on my Instagram as well. Oh, that's looking a lot better now. Just evened up the colours a little bit. There we go. In fact, let's just highlight them bottom edges there with the skin tone. Okay, a little bit of final highlight on the silver. So get silver on that very front line. Potentially just one line up there, just on that top line of the okay. There we have it. I'm really happy with that. The engines look good. Symbol looks good enough. go. Okie dokie. So let's get some varnish on them engines. So this almost brings this painting of this Firespray to an end. So I hope everybody that's watched has enjoyed it. Thank you for everybody that's got involved as well and asked lots of questions and been around while I've been doing it. It's you know, still very early days with streaming and learning what people enjoy. So if you've got any comments or any feedback for what I've been doing or what you've liked, what you think could be better, I am open to criticism. You know, it's a good way of learning. You know, constructive criticism, obviously. And we can make these future streams that'll do look better and better and better. You know, we start to invest some money into it, get some good cameras, good audio, etc, etc. You know, if that's what you guys want to see, then we can make that happen. So there we go. So put some varnish inside these engine areas just to give them a bit of a shine. And I've also just put some varnish over the Enigma Wargaming symbol up at the top there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a completed Savage Opress inspired Firespray for X-Wing the Miniatures game. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. And stay tuned to my my social media and all my other platforms. So my YouTube, my Facebook, my Instagram, and then obviously here on Twitch. So, you know, thank you everybody. And Mindits, thank you for tuning in. I'll let you know when the Inquisitor's been posted. It should be tomorrow. And yeah, let me know how we're getting on for future. So take care, have a good day, and I'll speak to you all soon.